Hello everyone, Manithral here, and welcome back to Suggestion Saturday. Also, Hardcore Iron Man update and a Dimension of the Damned update. Three things I'm going to be throwing at you this weekend. Mostly because the suggestion actually has to deal with Dimension of the Damned as is. Maybe not the Hardcore Iron Man, I'll save for tomorrow. But, so, Dimension of the Damned. Obviously, it's a hit and miss type event with some people. Obviously, I'm not in it right now. I'm going to be doing stuff for my clan and my clan Citadel while we go over this. So, things with it are extremely good, and I personally really like how they made it go. So I think the event is going rather good. It's going a lot better than it initially had started. When it had started, I don't know, when it started there was a lot of bugs and issues, but yet again it had just started. So that's the biggest thing. But now that it started, they made improvements, they made it better, they made it harder. Which some people might hate that, but at the same time, it's a good thing. You don't want it too easy, you want to make it challenging, you want your players to actually feel rewarded for what they do. So that's why I think it's actually really good it turned out the way it did. Not that I'm happy that it's hard now, it's just different. So now that that's done, I can actually focus on this part of it, talking to you guys. So Dimension of the Damned, it's really, if you guys haven't tried it yet, it went from being really easy, very basic the first day, into being something that was actually kind of hard. And it used to be like in the beginning there was a horde here and there's the occasional boss here and there. It wasn't too overwhelming. But now, well, at least the last I had seen, it's a pretty big deal. So there's a lot, the zombies are a lot more frequent. Things are constantly going along with it. And it is just absolutely kind of like insane mode right now. Which is, like I said, it's a very good thing. It's just not exactly what I was expecting. And the one reason why I can give this example that I know for a fact it's gotten harder, well, potentially for a fact that it's gotten harder, is because, a little bit of a spoiler, I do have a video I was going to actually release Friday, but given the circumstances of the competition, I kind of gave away my strategy in the video. And nothing against you guys, but I don't want to post my strategy yet until after the event is done and taken place. The reason behind that is my strategy can still work. And I kind of don't want it getting out there too far. Like, I would have no problem telling you guys, hey, do this, and, I can guarantee you, if you do these things in the right order, you'll get at least 13 million points, which is what I got. But, I can't do that because, let's face it, I do want to win too, and I hate to exclude you guys from the actual news of that. But I do promise, after this one, after I actually get into it, I will announce it. I will announce my strategy and really reveal it all. And as far as the event goes, what I do plan on doing is if I make it into the finale, and that's an if, because I still might not make it in. But if I make it into the finale, I will have a very long recording of the whole entire finale. And then during this finale, I will have it posted probably a couple days after the finale. This way you guys get to see how I go, depending on how long the video is. If I go the whole length of the video, the whole length of it, and actually win, of course you're going to see the whole entire event from my perspective. But that's a lot of assumption. But I'm relatively confident, not completely, but relatively confident that I will make it in. But I'm not 100%, like I said. Because now before I get... Well, I'll finish the spoilers and then I'll get into the suggestion part. Because right now, as it stands, and I'll even show you guys here. As it stands, I'm ranked 175. When I first got ranked, I was rank 80. And that was actually Wednesday night. I just got done recording. I was like, okay, I'm going to take both of my accounts and I'm going to go stock up on supplies. This way I can get my other account and do the same thing with that one. And I was getting ready to do that, and that's when I got completely blindsided by something else. And I logged out of my hardcore account and went solely onto this because I didn't have enough supplies for both. And I took advantage of a certain situation, and it worked. And it worked a little better than I had imagined, type deal. Like, I thought for sure I was, I would never be ranked. So that was Wednesday night. And over that night into the next day, I dropped a lot of rankings. I dropped about, I think it was 60 rankings that day. But now, it's been about another day again, and this time I only dropped about 30 ranks. So the dropping is getting less and less, and a big part in is that the zombies are a lot more frequent. So people who did qualify early on kind of do have that advantage, but at the same time, people who aren't qualified yet, there is still strategies you can do that can get you that spot. Frankly, right now I'm working on one actually not as we speak because while I'm doing this, but this weekend I'm going to be doing that strategy. Now I'm going to try to get my hardcore account qualified as well. And this strategy should work. But like I said, I can't guarantee anything. I just know that range used to be the best way. It still can be the best way. But there's so many tips and tricks to this event that I am going to do an absolute reveal episode after it's all done. So, because after how this event is going, if they keep doing the modifications and making it better and better, I can guarantee you people are going to want to do this again. Because this is a very fun event. The people who have been playing it seem to really be enjoying it. Whether they hate it or love it, they're enjoying it. I know that doesn't sound right, but it's true. But now for the suggestion part of the video, and it deals with Dimension of the Damned again. So they increased the spawn rates, they increased different things. There's only two suggestions I really have for Dimension of the Damned. Number one, and if it's actually possible, is to limit the amount of spells people can have. And if they want to limit maybe, let's say they limit to just enchantment spells. Okay, limiting the enchantment tablets. If you're not sure what those are, it's a lot like the teleport tablets that you would make in your player-owned house. They actually have those in game. So all they would have to do is maybe have those enchantment tablets. Maybe be an occasional drop from a monster. Because you can get different gems by mining, and you do have access to gold. The only thing you don't currently have access to is the next suggestion, is wool. So we're talking enchantments. I understand not letting mage be a big part of this because mage has a lot of AoE. And with a lot of AoE, you can hit a lot of zombies at once. Mage is particularly strong against melee, and the zombies do melee attacks, other than the zombieism damage. So, mage would be a bit overpowered in comparison. Now, I understand range does have some area of effect type attacks, AoEs, but not to the degree that magic does. And magic would just be overwhelmingly powerful. Not to mention, range also has a bit of a downfall, because while it has the AoE, it's weak to all the attacks that are close range. It's weak to those melee attacks, so you'll take more damage. It has a little bit of a double-edged sword there, where mage would be strong and strong. And you can't have that. That wouldn't really work too well. But now the next part of this suggestion is to actually have zombified sheep. So you can still get wool. And then, of course, people would have to go spin it, etc., etc. This way, in case somebody, let's say they did actually get, let's say, a ruby. I actually had a ruby, and I ended up dropping it because they were absolutely worthless. But let's say, somebody did get a ruby, they had actually got the enchantment tablet for it, and then they got the wool, and they made herself an amulet of strength, if they're a meleeer. I think that would actually be a very good addition to the Dimension of the Damned. And then the final suggestion for Dimension is, actually it was inspired by a show an anime I used to watch quite a bit, which is Bleach. And in the one episode they use hollow bait, and they had a competition between the two characters, and I can't think of the one's name, that's why I'm not saying it. But they used what was called hollow bait, which attracted like a ton of hollows, which is essentially their version of zombies in a way, just faster, stronger, and more ability. So what if they had something that was called zombie bait, where if you break it open in that area, it lures a bunch of zombies there. Now, I know there is a bit of a possible backlash with that, because some people are going to be like, well, that is way too overpowered. People could get a ton of kills very quickly. Yes, but we're not talking just a steady small amount of zombies. We're talking enough zombies that if you don't get the heck out of there kind of type deal, you're going to die kind of zombies. Which, that actually brings me to another point. Now, I have a pretty good computer. I have i7 700 Krabby Lake. I have a 1080 GeForce, for the win graphics card. I have pretty good stuff for my computer. Now, I use a program here to, let me know about my computer's temperatures. Now, of course, whenever you add or change your processes, so your processor speed temp will go up a little bit. That's what this is all indicating. That's my, CPU, my motherboard, graphics card, and then my hard drives. Well, in Dimension of the Damned currently, depending on how things are going, my heat temperature is hitting the 80s. In certain areas. So they need to do a little bit more optimization for this. And I think the only way to do it is because it is on a beta server. Beta servers aren't as well polished. I think what they need to do for the next one, and probably because it is a beta test basically of this, is to just have it so they have their own dedicated, whether it be client or something like that, and they could bring it back every so often as they see choose, that you could actually log into it, and from there, you log in there, and then they could have it polished and well done, well performing. This way it's not so hard on people's hard drives, or not hard drives, but graphics cards, because for a 1080 to actually have issues with RuneScape is actually very shocking, let alone to me, because, well, It's the first game that ever actually did that, other than completely high detail. Not even a high detailed arc did that to this graphics card. And high detail, like I'm talking max settings on arc all the way around, did not do that to the temperatures in this. There's just that much going on right now in Dimension of the Damned. That's got to tell you something. So that's pretty my only suggestions is optimization. You know, have their own client, because I'm pretty sure people are going to want to do this again. I know I had a lot of fun with it. Still am too, but it's just, you know, the Clan Citadel. I need to take care of my business there, and then you know, optimization. Maybe adding that bait thing as, like, you know, a way to actually influence the game. More so of, like, you know, protecting and driving away people from supplies, including yourself, but, you know. So there'd be those kind of things going on. But then to top it off, you know, just a little bit of things here and there. That's about it, though. But so sorry there wasn't a video yesterday, but the whole reason was because I kind of leaked the strategy I did use, and I really shouldn't be doing that just yet. I do apologize for that. I really shouldn't have leaked it, and I should have had a different video ready in the backlogs, but I didn't. So I do apologize for that, and I will be getting a video out here again shortly. Back to regular release, I should say. And try to have some videos in the backlog just in case any instance like that ever happens again. But I will have, you know, the full reveal of my strategy whenever the time comes, and then my full current review of Dimension of the Damned strategy part 2, because I had to change it. Because, spoiler, I did die once and I lost all my range equipment. That's the only spoiler I'll give. Which did set me back quite a bit. But because of that, I had to develop a new strategy, and it's actually going to work pretty good. But that'll actually do it for today's episode with the suggestions. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, later guys.